You know, it's something. The Holy Quran has a chapter on Israel, the 17th surah of the Quran, and it talks about the Jews. Now, why do Jews have such prominence in these books? Because they're the #1 hell raisers on the earth, and you got to know that. You got to know that, brother. You see, I can't back down off Jews because you're all afraid of them. To hell with them. To hell with them.
Minister Louis Farrakhan has been the highlight of the year when it comes to this channel. I've been able to learn a lot from his message. He has been able to empower black people around the world through his sermon, preaching, and the message that he gives out there. His activism has raised the standard of many black people, and as the year is going to an end, we cannot do without sharing another video of him to close the year 2024. I want us to watch this video from him. I will be back.
You know, it's something. The Holy Quran has a chapter on Israel, the 17th surah of the Quran, and it talks about the Jews. Now, why do Jews have such prominence in these books? Because they're the #1 hell raisers on the earth, and you got to know that. You got to know that, brother. You see, I can't back down off Jews because you're all afraid of them. To hell with them. To hell with them. A man came to me the other day and said, you know they're powerful. I looked at him and said, please. They're powerful, brother. Big man, too. He said, you know, Farrakhan, they'll kill you. I said, I know. They kill the prophets. You know they'll kill me. But I said, to me, they may look to you like Goliath, but I feel like David.
Go ahead.
They don't look like nothing to me. Now, you all can bow down to their power if you want to. I bow to no power but Allah, and He's sufficient. Yes, sir. I know it means we're going to suffer. I know it means they're going to try and make things hard. But I got to do what the book says. I can't follow no cowardly path. Because that's the safe thing to do for me and my family.
Come on, go ahead.
I have to challenge them in their evil. Call it just like it is. If I live or die is inconsequential. Better men than me have died for the truth. Who am I that I shouldn't be willing to die for the truth, that men might live in the truth? I can't be no coward. My father didn't raise me that way. And my father is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He did not raise me to back down. The Jews confronted Jesus. And they said to him, we are Abraham's seed. And Jesus said, yes, you are Abraham's seed, But then he raised the question, but if you were Abraham's seed, you would do the works of Abraham.
Come on.
He was an upright man. The Jews came back to Jesus. They said, God is our Father. Now, we don't have to listen to you. Jesus answered saying, if God were your Father, you would love me.
Go ahead. Come on.
For I proceeded forth from God. But now you hate me, a man that seeks to tell you the truth. Why? See? Why can't you understand my word? Why can't you hear what I'm saying? It is because my word has no place in you. Meaning what? My word is clear, but your hearts are filthy. They're low down and gone after the world. You generation of vipers. Look at Jesus, man. He wasn't no punk talking man. He was a strong talking man. Tell him to turn this mic up for me, please. He was a strong talking man. And he didn't back down. And that same Jesus looked at them and said, I know you. You are of your father, the devil. And the lust of your father ye shall do. He was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. This is Jesus talking to Jews, and he called them devils. He called them devils. And you rejected Elijah Muhammad because he used the language of the very man you claim to love. He called America into question for her evil. And he spoke like no man had ever spoken before, uncompromisingly. Elijah Muhammad, my father. Every day that he lived, he died. He's not talking about he died for me, a man hanging on a cross, bleeding for 11 hours. That's not the thing. It means he hung on a torture stake. And the torture stake is the universal truth that would be preached to make men free. And the enemy don't want people to be free. So when you start teaching that kind of truth, you're on the cross, and every day you live, you die for the people. Any man that challenges this world, any man that challenges the wickedness of this world's life and its wicked, decadent order, who challenges it with truth, is a man who says, I am willing to die that others may live. It is not an 11-hour ordeal on a cross. The 11 hours symbolizes a span of time in which a person pours out their life for the truth. And they are hated for it. They are spat upon for it. They are abused for it. They are nailed for it. They are stuck in the side for it. A crown of thorns is put on their head for it. And even at times they want to give up because their own people are their worst persecutors. It's true.
Yes, sir.
Elijah Muhammad lived this way among us. for 40 long years. I know that there are some in this audience who honor and respect Imam Warithdin Muhammad. But you will have to admit that here's a man that took the mantle of his father 9 years ago and quit 4 or 5 times in the 9 years. His father had the mantle for 44 years. And the father had to take him away from us. He would still be here with all the hell we gave him. We rejected him. We hated him. We spoke evil of him all around the world. And he kept on going. That's the cross. That's a man dying for you, that you would have a right to the tree of life. It don't mean somebody hanging on a wooden stake. I say it's a man living his life and dripping every drop of time of his being for your redemption. At the cross, at the cross. See? That's why when I sit down with my Christian brothers and sisters and they sing those songs, man, the tears roll down my eyes, because I know what you're singing about. But I know most of you sing it don't know what you're singing about. You have some spooky idea of a white man 2,000 years ago in Palestine, and it never happened. Ain't no white man died for you. That's a sign of your leadership. Dying for you. Nat Turner died for you and me. Denmark Vesey died for you and me. Gabriel Prosser died for you and me. Frederick Douglass, Sojourner Truth, died for you and me. Booker T. Washington died for you and me. Marcus Garvey died for you and me. W.E.B. Du Bois died for you and me. Adam Clayton Powell died for you and me. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King died for you and me. But the greatest death of all is when a righteous servant of God, in whom there is no guile and no wickedness, will die the death of a common criminal, looked upon as a no good man, yet he died by living for us. He died that every one of us could come to this hour and see Reverend Jackson and Farrakhan standing together and a black nation coming up. Men died to bring that about. And Reverend Jackson and myself are 2 men who are marked for death at this very hour. Isn't that sad? A reporter asked me the other day, he said, Farrakhan, I noticed you talk about people after Reverend Jackson's life. Do you ever think that they may be also after yours? I said, I never give it a thought. I'm so busy thinking about the lives of others, I ain't got time to think about my own. But others think about my life.
That's right. That's right. Yes, sir.
And others know that the white man and others want to see me dead.
That's right.
But that don't bother me. So help me Allah, it don't bother me. I was born into this world to give my life for you. And it pleases me to die for you. That may sound real silly. But all of my life, I have lived it thinking of the freedom of black people. And now for the last 30 years of my life, I have given this word which gives life and suffered as a result of that word and don't feel no pain because I love suffering to bring about the rise of black people. Sound crazy, huh? But there's some people born to do certain things. You know, Michael may be born to sing and dance, and he does it well. Others may be born to play the horn. Dr. J may be born to throw that ball. All of them have higher purposes if they would realize it. But I'm born to do exactly what I'm doing. I'm following in the footsteps of my Father. And if you notice, all the disciples of Jesus died like their master because they lived like him. Because there is something worth living for and worth dying for that's more than your life. When I hear black people sing, as I was speaking before the Black Mayor's Conference in St. Louis, a black woman stood up and sang the song that Martin Luther King wanted to hear just before he was killed. Precious Lord, take my hand. And when she sang that song, the tears rolled down my cheek because as I listened to her, I saw the beauty in our people. Our people are truly beautiful. Even when they act ugly, they are yet beautiful. Somebody gotta love them enough to go past all of their craziness to bring out of them the divine core that is in black people. Elijah Muhammad loved you like that. That man loved you so much, brothers and sisters. The love that he had for you is so awesome that I was mesmerized by the majesty of this man's love for his people. I thought I loved you, but he showed me how to love you. You didn't hear me? You know, people say, I love you. I love you, sweetheart. How you going to prove it? Well, if you love me, you'll give me a diamond ring. Or if you love me, you'll do something nice for me. This is the way you measure love. By what people give you. Sick. People give you things for all kind of motives. And it ain't got nothing to do with love half the time. But the real way you measure love is when a person will give up their life, their being, to see that your life is made better. And that is the life of Elijah Muhammad. He was beaten with many stripes. I never heard deceit in his mouth. Always he spoke of you. Always his thinking was for you. He sat me down one day and said, brother, this is the way I want you to think. He's telling me how he wants me to think. And you know, I'll give you an example of what he said. He said, don't think for some, think for all. Don't speak for some, speak for all. He was telling me, don't speak just for the few Muslims. Speak for the hurt of all the people. Don't let the white man make you think you're all different. Speak for the whole. And then he said, this is the way I want you to think, Farrakhan. Call me brother. He said, if we have 30 million people who eat 3 meals a day and 3 slices of bread, or 1 slice of bread per meal, That's 90 million slices of bread per day. 630 million slices of bread per week. 32 billion, 760 million slices of bread per year. How much land must we have under wheat cultivation to give the black man his daily bread? You say, Lord, give us this day our daily bread. How you going to have your daily bread? You going to let Wonder Bread do it for you? No, sir. Tip top? No, sir. And these poisoners of our people, you need to have land under wheat cultivation. You heard me yesterday. I may be in some trouble today, not with God. I told him, if you lock us out, if you lock us out, if you lock Jesse out, you're telling us you don't want us no more. And if you don't want us, I tell you like Pharaoh, Moses said to Pharaoh, let us go. And I'll come on down to Washington and negotiate for some territory. Because you can't have no daily bread without some land to produce that bread. You can't have any daily meat unless you have cattle and lamb and chickens and whatever fowl you eat. You must have grazing land, feeding land. You got to have land if you want to eat. You want to build houses and live in better houses. The houses come out of the earth. You got to have earth that you can call your own. I'm not a pipe dreamer. Oh, don't you want to go to that promised land? Not promised sky.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to stay out the sky as long as I can.
Go ahead.
I mean, I fly almost every day. But I mean in the ethereal way. I ain't ready for that yet. Not unless God is ready. The resurrection of the dead. Let's close this subject on Easter. Elijah Muhammad made a community in this country of living men and women that put life into black people. I was talking with a brother yesterday who's from Africa, North Africa. He saw in us a new jewel, like a new community. What he was saying, without saying it, you all have been raised to life, but the other black people need what you have. And the only way that we're different from our people is that we know something that they yet don't know, so it's our responsibility to share it with them. Is that right? Let me conclude. Brothers and sisters, in 1975, it is commonly believed that Elijah Muhammad died. The whole world believes that Elijah Muhammad is dead. I said he's alive. People said it's crazy. Okay, wait now. What I'm telling you is the man you've been reading about in the Bible and in the Quran was in your midst. The very Jesus you've been clamoring about all your life came up among you and you didn't recognize him. Sweet little Jesus boy, born in a manger, meaning born in the ghetto. Sweet little Jesus boy, I didn't know who you was. And the light shined in the darkness, but the darkness comprehended it not. And he came unto his own, and his own received him not. It's not our fault. We couldn't see. Our eyes were dim. He was persecuted, and a plot was hatched to kill him. There in Mercy Hospital, that's where Calvary is. A man dying for his people under the plot of hypocrites and devils to remove Elijah totally from among us, but make it look like it's a natural death, so it wouldn't alarm the people. I want you to listen to me. But this Quran says, and when you almost killed a man, then you disagreed about it. And Allah said, strike him with it partially. Made, and the Quran says, he was made to appear to them as though he were dead, but he was not dead. Now I challenge the family of Muhammad. If Farrakhan is lying, I'll pay to exhume that which you call the body. Since his mouth was worked on by two dentists, one in Chicago and one in Mexico, we have the records. Bring the body up and let's see who that is. If I've made a mistake and am in error, you will shut my mouth forever. I say, bring it up. I'm willing to risk everything I got that body is not the body of Elijah Muhammad. The Quran says in some scholars' translation that a substitute body was put there. This is in the translations of the Quran. Even the scholars of Islam don't even know who it's referring to. They believe it was the Jesus, but Jesus 2,000 years ago was not the Messiah. The Messiah comes at the end of the world.
Come on.
Just telling you.
Go ahead.
We believe that the angels got him out. What angels? I ain't talking about spooks. I'm talking about men. Superior men of wisdom who can blind you to the reality of who they are and deal all around you, over you, and under you, and you don't know what's going on. There are men like that among us today. Men like that among us today. Take it or let it alone. I'm saying to the world, listen to me carefully now, that Elijah Muhammad is alive. And the Quran says that Allah raised him to himself. What does that mean? The scholars don't know, but I'm telling you what it means. It means that the man that you think is dead is alive and with the God, receiving a book that is a greater book than the Quran and the Bible. These books are to end, and a whole new world order is coming in, and a new gospel is coming down. Take it or let it alone, man. I'm just going to say this today because it is what we believe. And this little brother right here that you're looking at is one that God has favored through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And when that new book is revealed, he will reveal it through me to the entire world. Your Quran tells you in a chapter called Farrakhan, the 25th surah, blessed is he upon whom the discrimination is sent down, that he may be a warner to the nations, all of them. Yes, now the people who didn't know my father see his son. Listen to me good now. I say you didn't know my father, but now you're getting acquainted with his son. And wherever I go in this country, old people walk up to me and grab my hand and say, I'm glad I'm alive in your time. I don't say nothing. I just ask them in my own mind, what is it that you see? Or what is God making you to see? People already see the Spirit of God all over me. And you know that a man have to be from God to challenge this world in the manner that I do without no fear. Brothers and sisters, if I challenge them in the name of Allah, and you see a student of a man, and you can see divinity in the student, then what about the father that you didn't know anything about? Your eyes were too dim to see him. But your eyes are opening up to see the Son. And through the Son, you see the Father. Because the Son and the Father are one. Your book is just walking to fulfillment right in front of you. And while I'm talking to you right now, the second crucifixion is being planned. They plan to kill both Jesse and myself. That's why you hear me talk like I talk. Because God, through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, has made us to see what's coming down the pike. I feel so totally unafraid because I know I've got to go through death to get to the other side. And if I go through, and by his grace I shall, then you also will have to come through that same narrow portal. The Jews right now are celebrating Passover. It just ends, I think, tomorrow. 8 days. During this Passover, they have what is called the Seder feast. And at that feast, they pour a cup of wine and they leave a place at their table. And they leave the door ajar for a man named Elijah. A Jew wrote me the other day, said, Farrakhan, I wanted to sit down and meet with you, but after all these threats I heard, I don't think it's any use sitting down talking with you. I wrote him back and said, it is sad that intelligent men must talk to each other through the media, which at its best does not accurately convey our thoughts and ideas. I wanted to tell him, you in Passover. Don't close the door on the very man you've been looking for all your life. I could tell the Jews that I am their last chance. And I will tell them that soon. I know you think I'm crazy. It's all right. It's all right. Because some thought Jesus was a madman too. But the white man is scared today. He's frightened to death. Because when he took my tape of March the 11th and began tearing it up, he saw something in it. And he sent people all over this country questioning them about Farrakhan. And the reports that came back to him staggered him. He couldn't find a breakthrough nowhere. The Christian clergy, the head of 7 million Baptists, stood up and told them. I heard about Farrakhan, but I heard Farrakhan. He said, and when I heard him, I put my ear to him, and I know when a man have the Spirit. And he said that man is filled with the Spirit of God. White man closed up his camera and got the hell out of town. Look, he went up into Buffalo, New York to talk to the most powerful black politician in the state of New York, Arthur Eves, in the legislature. He started talking to Mr. Eves and then got around to Farrakhan. And Arthur Eves said, I went to the Savior's Day convention. And when I read the New York Times and read what you all said, I wondered, could we be looking at the same event? He said, I came away from there a changed man, and my whole life has been renewed. He said, I was going to assassinate Rockefeller after Attica, but I spent 3 hours with Farrakhan and he turned me around. I owe him my life. Packed up their camera and got the hell out of there. But then they come and they meet my Muslim brother. Sad, sad, sad. And the so-called Muslim gives the enemy the thing he's looking for. It's just the way the book said. The book doesn't lie. The Jews stirred up the hypocrites against Muhammad. Well, it's happening again today. I tell you, brothers and sisters, we're at the end of this. They've taken my words, and poor Jesse, every time that poor man speaks, he was in a conference the other day with the governor of Ohio. 1 hour and a half when he came out the door, you think they would ask him, and what did you and the governor talk about? They said, and Farrakhan said at the mayor's conference, and what do you say about it? Yesterday, the man delivered his program on urban blight and how to correct urban blight. Serious program. The minute he comes out, you think they want to ask him about that? Farrakhan was at Push today, and Farrakhan said, and what do you say? I don't want to hurt my brother. Jesse is so beautiful. He's so wonderful a brother. He don't care what the cost is. He gonna stick with his brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I don't want to be a burden to him because I'm a free spirit. I can't let no man muzzle me. I got too much in my mouth that has to be said, and politics notwithstanding. So I think the time has come that I ought to sort of step back a little and continue my support of my brother, but from my platform. The time is come that all of us will be called to account as a witness for the truth. The FBI handed Mr. Webb my tape. Is there a criminal charge you can put on him? Is there an investigation you can bring up on him? I said to them, do whatever you will. It's all written in the book. And by the grace of God, we'll go through it all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And they'll see a resurrection and an ascension. Because you are to rise from death and never return again. It's your time to rise up as a great people for God's glory. And believe me, your ascension into heaven knows no limits. When they say he ascended to the right hand of God, that's exactly where you're going. And that's what Jesse means. That's what Jesse means. You hear Jesse talk? Such strength. Shaking white folks up. They saying, Lord, what we gonna do with him? Let's see if we can make him vice president. And Jesse don't want it. He's going all the way. Can't be bought out. That's the ascension to the right hand of power. Come on up, black people. It's resurrection time. Come on up, black people. It's Easter time. Yeah, you could say fertility, because that's the first command that God gave to Adam, multiply. And I think if the sisters are multiplying, oh, pardon me, I should say it better. If the homosexuals are multiplying, and everyone tries to make one, every dope seller tries to get somebody hooked to sell more. Every prostitute wants another woman in the stable. Everybody is making what they are. If we are the righteous, let's multiply. That's what the egg means. It means fertility. That's what the rabbit means. Quick multiplication. We ain't got a lot of time. Let's multiply. And everywhere they look, they see another black man, another black woman standing tall for right and truth. The resurrection has begun. The ascension to God has begun. Our time has indeed come. Let's rise together. Thank you for listening. Assalamu alaikum.
That was Minister Louis Farrakhan. And as I stated in my intro, that Minister Louis Farrakhan has been the highlight of this channel this year. I've really done a whole lot of content about his message And as I have learned a lot from him, I know you have also learned a lot from him, because his message has always been powerful. And if you want to liberate yourselves from the mental slaveries that we have gone through for a very long time, then you don't need nowhere to go than to watch Minister Louis Farrakhan, and it will enlighten you. It will also project your ideologies about the world politics. And that has been the highlight of this channel this year. And today is the final day of the year 2024. And I really appreciate, I'll use this moment to thank all of you who has been subscribing to this channel. I'll also use it to thank you for being part of us, joining us to spread this message, because anytime they bring my analytics, I see how many people have shared this content I do. And so I won't close this year by not thanking you enough for helping me reach many people. We are able to achieve our goal, because our goal was to hit 100,000 subscribers before the year ends. And we did it. We did it, and we have been able to verify the account. We have also been able to receive our plug from YouTube. So it has been an amazing year. It has been an amazing year, and I thank all of you. I appreciate all of you. Those who comment, those who likes, those who shared, has really helped build this community. And I promise you, next year, which is tomorrow, from tomorrow going, is going to be huge. We are going to upgrade ourselves. We are going to project more content about Black empowerment. We are going to create content that will help us liberate ourselves, and that is what we want. Before we can do anything, before we can take over the world, we have to liberate our minds from mental slavery, and that is what we have been doing. So if you are a lover of being Pan-Africanism, or you are a lover of liberating yourselves from all these mental slaveries that was done on us or pushed on us by Western countries, then you know you are on the right channel. So if you want to join us to achieve this goal, then you can also join our platform, Telegram platform, by going to the description box. Click on the Telegram link. It will take you to the platform. Join us for us to discuss about the well-being of Africa and Africans in diaspora. And if today, the last day of 2024, is also your first time visiting this channel, then don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification button so that we will go all the way with this journey with you. Next year will be another year, and I will be happy if you are able to join us to this journey. I thank you again for helping this channel reach its goals for 2024. Let's see ourselves in 2025 in good health, more energy to deliver more great content. I'm always your guy, De-Graft Amoako. Thanks for watching.